What's happening, everybody? I am just pouring myself a drink. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Everybody ready for the weekend? I know I am. Finally getting some cooler weather, and then Mother Nature's got to come back and knock us with a bunch of 80s and 90s and a bunch of hot crap again. And boy, just not looking forward to it. I was hoping that we were going to start to get into some cooler temperatures and get these waters cooled down. We need rain, like, crazy amounts of rain. Our water levels are so low. I bet you in some of these Washera County lakes this summer, and I know the whole Midwest is kind of suffering a little bit, but we'll see what happens here, what it does to fishing, over the fall months here. I know we've been fishing up on the bay. The muskies have been starting to go pretty good up on the bay, casting, trolling, find those rocks and weeds and just drive around until you see some bait fish too. These fish are starting to gorge themselves and getting ready for the fall. And it's only going to get better, guys. We're just getting started here. Walleyes are starting to migrate a little bit further south too, getting down in the lower bay. I know the last day I was up there, the water was like chocolate milk. You couldn't see but an inch or two, and it finally starting to clear up. So I know the fishing will get better here too. And Winnebago, for the guys that are out, the perch fishing's super good some days and really crappy the next. You really just got to keep moving around. Same with the walleye fishing. The few times here we've been out chasing the walleyes versus the perch. Just keep moving around. That's really the name of the game when you start fishing rocks. Just move. Some days you'll get lucky and third, fourth spot you'll land on a pot of fish. Other days you might have to move a dozen, 15 times. And when you find them though, it's like you get out there. And what we've been casting the Z-Man, the Willow Vibes, with either half a crawler or a small swim bait, like a 3-inch swim bait on the back of it. And the nice thing about those baits, guys, if you have not picked one up yet, do yourself a favor and just try one. It is the easiest thing to do for, even for me guiding with clients. It's a cast and retrieve. You can obviously change it up and rip it around or put some different plastics on. But the easiest way to make these things work, put a half a crawler on, cast it out, and if the fish are laying tight to the bottom, just a real slow retrieve. That blade will, it's extremely slow retrieves. It'll vibrate really nice, and you can keep that bait real tight to the bottom. If you're fishing weeds and you need to get up above, then we're using the 1/4 ounce cast it out. As soon as it hits the water, just a nice steady retrieve. Don't let it get down in the weeds. And these walleyes, it's crazy is a lot of people, tell you that walleyes never jump out of the water until you start fishing the weeds in really shallow water. And if they see something that they like, they have no problem shooting up at it at 100 miles an hour. And I'd say at least a half a dozen times this summer, I had walleyes jump out of water, and I swore it was either a largemouth or a smallmouth. And when it got boat side, it was a walleye. And they just go crazy about the either we're fishing a micro chatterbait or we're using those willow vibes. And it has been an absolutely amazing bait for me all summer long. And even now going into fall, we're definitely going to be using that thing a lot. Up on the bay, we've been using some really big blade baits. The 6 Sense baits have a much different vibe than what a lot of us have really seen around here. I don't know what why they changed things up or what prompted them to do something a little bit different than everybody else in the blade market. But these things have a very wide wobble. So instead of that, this thing's like boom, 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 boom. So you don't get that that real repetitive vibration, that real fast vibration. It's really slow, and that thing has been putting more fish in the boat for me up on the bay this year than any of the other baits that I've been using or casting with. So there again, something to check out. Later on after we're done here, I can run out and grab one or two of them and show you what they are. But they're made by 6 Sense, big bass company. I know a lot of the guys, the Waterland sunglasses, that we use to kind of the same company. And then out here in Washera County, again, the lakes are super low. So the bluegills, crappies, everything for the most part has been set up over the basins. Really a lot of us suspended fish. Some days you can find them over the cribs or along the weed edges, but for the most part, most of these fish are, setting up over 20, 30 feet of water, anywhere from like 15 to 20 feet down. And then every once in a while, if it's like flat calm, you'll get a school of bluegills or crappies that'll come up to the surface and start feeding on bugs. And that's a lot of fun. We're just throwing small little tungsten jigs with either a piece of plastic or a little chunk of night crawler. No bobbers or anything, just cast and retrieve and figuring out, where they're at in the water column and, just cast, let that thing fall, count down, 5-10 seconds, and then just kind of start swimming it back. And it's been a really, really good bite, a lot of fun and a lot of nice fish, finding some lakes that used to be really good, 10, 12 years ago, and I've just been exploring, getting ready for winter, checking out a lot of new bodies of water. And I'm seeing a lot of these lakes that, I thought were dried up and were probably, outfished or overfished, have really got a lot of nice fish back in them again. So that's really good to see. It's really promising. I'm looking forward to winter if it would ever get here. And it's going to be fun. A lot of new places to try this winter, and excited for it. We've got, let's see, September 6th is going to be the launch date for a lot of these ice companies that I work with to start releasing all of the new products. We've got a ton of stuff, especially from Eskimo, that I'm really excited to talk about. And we'll go over some of that stuff and show you everything here after the holiday weekend. And yeah, stay tuned for that. I've got some stuff. I believe I have a couple things here that I can show you firsthand, and we can talk about it. But if not, the distributor shows, guys, are starting to come into play. That is where all of the sales team, we get together, we go to the shows where all the dealers and the buyers from all these stores come to see all the new products for the ice season and for everything for next spring for the 24 season is really what it is. But the ice fishing stuff gets thrown in there as well. Those will be starting up here in September, and we'll be at there'll be a show each week all the way through September. Minnesota, we've got Cannon Tackle, we've got Big Rock Sports, we've got Robinson Wholesale, and Sports Specialist. So the four major distributors here in the upper Midwest we will be at, and we'll try and do some video and show you guys some stuff once they allow us to release everything. So stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. I know I've got a whole hat full of names here, and excited to give away that Rush Creek rod rack, so you guys can see firsthand, how awesome that thing is. So some lucky winner will get that, and we'll just have to get your name and address so we can get that sent out to you. Absolutely no charge. We'll get that right to your doorstep, and all we ask is that once you get it set up, if you would shoot us some pictures or shoot us a little video and tell us how you like it, and we'll go ahead and share that and post that on our pages as well. So again, thanks to Rush Creek. These guys have been really good to work with. They got a lot of awesome new products, and just overall great storage solutions. If you haven't checked them out, go to Rush Creek Creations. They've got stuff for your man cave. They've got gun racks, pool table stuff, fishing racks, anything that you can hang on the wall. They've got a rack for it for the most part. So, and a lot of it's all fishing, hunting related. That now that we're getting into the muskie season, just wanted to share again kind of what our setup is. Seagar has this new tactics that came out here just last year, and the nice thing about this tactics is it's not going to set you back. It's really, really good line, and for not a whole lot of money. And they do have, it's just a basic floral or a braid. It's kind of got a camouflage appeal to it. Here, we'll take the spool out and show you guys. Maybe there's enough light. Probably not going to be able to see, but it's got a camouflage. I use this stuff a lot for all my muskie rods are spooled up with it. My muskie trolling rods, my casting rods, everything's spooled up with the 80-pound, and then I am running the AbrazeX in either 100 or 80 pounds fluorocarbon, and this stuff again. I've never lost a fish on a leader. Don't have to worry about fish, breaking through or cutting through. But the nice thing with this tactics stuff is it casts awesome. I mean, it might feel a little rough, but when you're casting, most muskie baits, you're not going to have the problem. But the durability, the strength that this stuff has, it's just a standard 4-strand braid, nothing real fancy. But with that, you don't get the fraying. You're not getting, this stuff here we've been playing with for now, I think 2 years. And the coating in that doesn't wear off. So, unlike some of the other lines, you get your hands or your guides end up getting full of paint or powder or whatever that may be. And this stuff here has been really nice. Again, very inexpensive. They come in 300-yard spools. And then on top of it, when you do buy these, depending on what you're going to fish for, but there is a 25-pound fluoro leader that comes with each, I guess, pound test of the tactics. They've got a bunch of different grades, and all the way, I believe, down from like 10 all the way up. So even for bass fishing, a lot of guys really like this stuff for throwing in the grass or in the weeds because it cuts the weeds. Almost has like a little bit of abrasion to it. So as you're ripping through, this stuff just slices through the weeds really nice, and you don't have to worry about getting hung up a whole lot there. So that's kind of, just wanted to touch base. If you guys are looking to spool up for this fall, check that tactics out, save yourself some money, and, not compromise quality and strength. What else is happening? We just got back from Texas. I went and picked up a roller. Been trying to find, a diesel. Kind of made my mind up. I know a lot of you guys chimed in on the board or on the page too, as far as and whatnot, just because, we're towing not just, I mean, every day. There's not too many days that my truck doesn't get backed into the boathouse and get unhooked. There's usually some sort of trailer. Even in the fall here, once we slow down on fishing, you've got the snowmobile trailer, the trailer that hauls the tractor or firewood. Just there's always something attached to the back of the truck. So made the choice, went with a F-250 Super Duty, found one down in Houston, Texas. Drove all the way down there. My oldest boy and friend Bud and myself, we left on Thursday night. Did a straight run down to Houston. I think it was about 18, 19 hours. Picked up the truck on Friday afternoon and hopped back in and drove all the way back home through the night. And it was fun. It was a good drive. It was long. We didn't sleep real well or eat real well, but someday we'll go back down there and kind of enjoy Texas a little bit. But Dan, you say you won't be disappointed. I'm already just giddy. The power that these things have is, it makes you throws you back in the seat, I guess is what I'm trying to say. A lot of fun. Now, everybody was razzing on me for the lift and the wheels and all that. And, I wanted to find a truck with some sort of lift. But around here, up in the Midwest and that, these F-250s, number one, in a Platinum or a Lariat or a King Ranch, any of the higher end trucks, you can't find them for, even close to the money that was down in Texas. I'd say on average, if you found one, it was like $10,000 to $15,000 cheaper down there than it was up here, with the same amount of miles. And then, the fact that it's never seen salt. So the trucks down there are a lot cleaner. This one crossed my path, and I looked at it, I'm like, man, that's a really big truck. But they really did this thing right. They didn't skimp 1 cent when they built this truck. The suspension on it, the lift, the wheels, the front bumpers, everything about that truck was just done perfect. And I think we added it up. It was probably close to like 22 grand just in aftermarket accessories. And yet it was still 15,000 cheaper than what we could get, just a standard truck up here. And it's pretty cool. The kids love it. And if you get a chance, some of the younger guys probably know this already, but there's a horn out there made by a company called Sound Blaster. And what it is it's honestly louder than a train horn. There's a 2-gallon compressor tank on the back of the truck that controls all my air suspension. And then it also has the tank for sounding the horn. So this thing literally has 4 trumpets out the back. And I don't know if I've ever heard a train as loud as what this horn is. So we got to figure out a way to hook it up to a tip-up alarm, hook them up to the vultures, and see if those boys can't do that for me and somehow activate that switch. So when the tip-up goes off, we can notify 2 counties over that we got some flags. Pretty cool. And it was funny. When we got to the dealership, we were trying to find the controller for the air ride system, and my friend's down or Bud's down laying on the ground, and up on the console of the Super Duty, there's like 6 or 8 auxiliary switches that you can hook whatever you want into these switches. And I'm trying to figure out where the compressor switch is. I figured that the horn would work off the horn on the steering wheel. Well, it was hooked to one of the switches. So Bud's head's like right in front of the horns. And we flipped the switch. I'm pretty sure with how small he is, it kind of pushed him backwards. And he stood up, and I don't think he realized how loud it was, or I don't think I realized how loud it was until I'd use sign language most of the way home to talk to him. So kind of a funny story, but yeah, it was definitely a young guy's truck that he used for shows, or who knows, a lot of oil money down there that those boys got to spend something on because they don't know what else to do with it all. But it is super clean. Those diesels are amazing motors. We were getting, on the highway, sometimes 25 miles to the gallon. It's crazy, even with the big tires and everything, on how well it did with the gas mileage. So I'm excited to try it. Got to figure out my boundaries as far as driving on the ice. So any of you guys are over in Minnesota, let me know what you start driving on with diesels. We got a few guys around here that come out and drive on the lake too, and it'll be fine. I'll just have to pick my days. And the nice thing is if I do go down out in Poigan, my wheels, I could probably just put a ramp in and drive out because the thing sits so high. So should be okay there. Or we're not going to test it though. Let's see. So got the new truck and the the trailer hitch. I'll have to take a picture of this thing because of how high it sits. We had to get a special hitch. I think they're the Gen Y hitches, and those are what, 2.5-inch receivers, so they're quite a bit bigger. And it showed up today, and we plugged it in, and holy buckets, that thing's heavy. But I can see why you need something so big. For these big trucks, it'll be interesting to pull the boat. I'm excited. We'll go give her a try tomorrow. All right, so it's 20 after 8. I'm gonna just double check and see if anybody else gave anything away or signed up here, and we'll add their names, and then we'll do a drawing. So while I'm looking through this stuff here, guys, what's everybody been doing? How's fishing? And what are you guys seeing? All right. And don't mind me, I'm just reading through and trying to get everybody else's names in here. What are you guys' thoughts on the new 20 and 35 horse e-motors from Mercury? Those things look pretty cool. I've been around in Oshkosh when they've been driving them up and down the river. I'd really like to see how the torque is. It'd be amazing just to see and feel if it's anything like a Tesla or any of these electric motors, how snappy those things are. I'd almost think that you'd have to temper it down a little bit. Everybody's quiet tonight. Everybody's fingers broke. All right. I'll write down a couple more names here quick. All right, let's see. Ryan hit Green Bay, bite up for Wally the other Friday. 2 friends and I did well. Had a blast like always. Bud stopped over yesterday, said, you need a ladder for the new ride. Yeah, he's the one that needs the ladder. Look how short he is. We had to get a ladder for Deb. We went over there, and Deb was trying to get up inside, and she couldn't get in. Bud had to go get the little step stool so she could get up there. Xander, if you look at the picture, Xander, my little guy, when he stands next to it, it kind of puts the truck into perspective and how big it actually is. And he's about as tall as one of the wheels. he's got a few inches on one of the wheels. All right, so I've got a hat full of names, and I'm gonna reach in there. Brad, yeah, I don't know if that would work or not. You wait till you see the hitch that I had to get to drop a foot. This thing's it's beefy. All right, so I guess let's draw a name. Corey says, "Pick me, please." Here, just so people can see that I'm not my hand. I'm not holding on to anything. I don't want to pick any favors. All right, here we go. Todd Tuskowski. If I said that right, Todd Tuskowski. So there you go. Todd, congratulations. Thanks to Rush Creek, and we'll get you me your name. There you are, Todd. Awesome. Thanks for joining in tonight too. Super cool. Glad you won, bud. And yeah, just private message me your address, name and address, and we'll get that thing out to you ASAP. Again, thanks for everybody for signing and sharing, and appreciate it. Corey, be nice. Let's see. Let's go back and read. Let's see. Yeah, Todd, water temperature is still too high. Wait, that's crazy, man. It's still going to be in the 90s. I think what we have 74 out on Bago yet. Super, super warm. Let's see. All right. Andy, I got in some nice skills Pack area last weekend. I missed chasing them for a while. The chain of lake has kind of been one of my personal missions, to really learn and really dissect that water, because I know it's got a lot of nice fish in it. And this summer, just literally driving around, over the deep water along the edges, trying to figure out the lake. Obviously you got Dake and Minor, the two weedy bays, or the weedy lakes. They're great in the springtime, crappie fishing out there with the cabbage, obviously because where they're spawning. But I don't like chasing fish on the spawn. I want to find them out in the water. And I've learned a lot about that chain of lake. And it's been fun. Now I just got to try and figure out the walleyes out there. But panfish, a lot of big crappies, and we've been getting some 15, 16-inch crappies, a lot of nice smallmouth, and some big bluegills. Now I've caught a few largemouth and a few pike, but nothing real big there. I've seen a few big pike and probably muskie or two, and I've seen some trout on the live scope, and it's been a lot of fun. So if anybody has any insight on the chain too, you guys want to share some information, be happy to do that. Private message me. Let's see what kind of questions we got. Laz, hey man, I can't wait to start seeing you at the shows. I hope we're gonna see you there. I'll send you over the information that you emailed me too. The new boat's been awesome. That thing has been slimed. It's been tons of bluegills and crappies. Obviously the walleyes. I think that boat could go find a walleye on autopilot. Now we're just getting ready to start fishing some muskies up on the bay, and doing some fall fishing for some walleyes in the rivers, and can't wait to get back out and chase those fish. Todd, not fishing related, but got first decent buck out of velvet today. Nice. So where are you at, Todd? Time for hunting. I'd spend more time on the chain if I could fish more during the weekend as a do. Yeah, John, I have to agree with you there. I'd much prefer. I would love to fish, Monday through Friday, and take off Saturday and Sunday. That's the best way to do it. Unfortunately, not everybody's schedules like that. We have one by us that's starting to go too hard horn. I thought it was a bit early. So I don't. I mean, you guys. I don't know where you're at. I'm obviously over here in Watoma, in between Red Granite and Watoma. But we've got two hard horns here. Just the other night, we seen another little forker that was all dragging his velvet. So I think I don't know. They're starting. Brad, what's the best way right now to put a good eater walleyes in the freezer quickly? Well, I guess where do you want to go? You can go cast any rock pile right now, I think, on Winnebago or Green Bay, and do good. I don't see that's the easiest thing that I could think of right now. Otherwise, Festival I know sells them too. Okay, Todd. So you're south of me a little bit. Yeah, we've got a few hard horns. You can tell they're freshly scraped in the last um, last week or so. Definitely, still some blood and stuff sitting on the antlers. Laz, I don't know. I know of a few guys that had private ponds that lost some, pretty much lost all their fish. Mine survived. I got 18 feet of water, and we had a couple fish in there, but as far as small ponds or lakes or anything like that, I didn't really see anything too bad around here. The nice thing about where we're at though, Laz, is that everything is 40, 60 feet deep. We're all really deep glacial lakes, so we don't get those real warm waters like southern Wisconsin or even down by you guys in a lot of those shallow ponds. Let's see. I know the weed thickness and all the crap out in the lakes is some of the worst I've ever seen it this year. One, the water is really shallow. We're down 3-4 feet, and two, just with the heat. And for some reason, and I don't know if it's just me or you guys can chime in too, but I thought this year was really, really calm compared to most years. I can't remember days, how many consecutive days going out on Green Bay where it was like glass or, Winnebago, any of those big bodies of water where you can go out 3-4 days in a row and not have much of more than a ripple. It's been crazy. It was a water low up in Shawano too. Were you on the river out in the lake, Corey? Okay. Todd's my brother-in-law. He is down on um, Buffalo Lake, and that lake is, I mean, that's just a cesspool. And he's saying that they're starting to see fish kill here just in the last week. The waters, especially after that week of 90 and 100 degrees, that was crazy. And now we're going to have 90s again here this week. Plus all that weed growth and that decaying, the oxygen levels have got to be getting really low for these fish. I know I see anybody that follows Sarah Parvin too. She had a massive die off in her pond. She's down South Alabama. But the heat down there, even when we drove down, we had 109 degrees in some of the areas, for quite a while down in Texas. And everything was brown. I mean, there was no green anywhere. There were fires all over the place along the sides of the roads. Super, super dry and hot. I don't know how those fish survive. I don't know how people survive down there. Didn't seem to be anything up on the wolves today. Yeah, it's we need cold and we need rain, and it doesn't look like we're going to get much of anything here for at least the next 10 days. So it's probably going to be a late fall. But then what's going to happen is winter will be here 1st of October, and we'll have one of those years where we get super cold October, and then warms up typically around deer season, and then doesn't get cold back until January again. Seems like our falls are running about 2-3 months behind, and the calendar doesn't know it, and Mother Nature's, I don't know, whatever. Eric, not by much, man. Tonight's going to be nice. I can't wait to turn my windows on tonight, or open my windows and turn my air conditioner off. Sorry. Let's see. I miss anybody's comments? No, that's about it. Well, if I find out anything more or hear of anything more going on, or as we get close to the weekend here, and I'll post a report or something just to kind of keep everybody up to date. But have a good, safe holiday weekends, and we'll catch you guys next week one day. And yeah, hopefully everybody can get out and do some fishing or last minute preparations for hunting season. We're what, 13 days away, something like that. Scott, I don't have any big bucks tied up yet. We've got a couple here running around in our backyard. I have been so busy that I haven't even made it over to the hunting land that's on my to-do list here this weekend. And I got to turn my camera or put fresh batteries in my cameras so I can start watching those things. And I'm not an early season hunter to begin with. I hate mosquitoes. I hate going sitting out and in this 90-degree crap. Just you got to get the deer done right away, and I much prefer to hunt after a good couple freezes and let the deer kind of meander and let everything come to my area. I'll let all the crazy opening weekend hunters and that chase them back by us and get them to stay over by us. So, yeah, the perch are going to get going. Shannon, the perch are, perch go. It's just every day is a different day. And we're really, really getting into some nice big bluegills this year. And quite a few of them. I'm surprised on how many big bluegills we've been finding. And a lot of times it's, right now, if we're getting the big bluegills, we're getting walleyes mixed right in. It's been pretty fun. Let's see. I guess that's it. All right, everybody. Well, I am going to sign off. And again, congrats to Todd. Todd, send me your info and we'll get that out to you. And again, have a good, safe holiday weekend, everybody. Good luck fishing, and we'll catch you guys next week.